studios at Carrizo Springs. These are our partners not only at Carrizo Springs, the oil facility. They're from Taylor's Group, Mr. Barry Johnson and Jamie Tarpley. Our real purpose here is to educate not only the court, but each of you. Obviously, this is an important issue to everyone, but I think if you don't understand the truth, if you read things on the internet and you read, and there are humanitarian rights groups that are going to portray it one way. I mean, I've heard rumors about Syrians and all types of things. So my purpose in being here is to try and explain what it is we're trying to do and what it means to this community, as well as the entire county of Dimmit. The federal government has a need to establish a family residential facility. I didn't say detention facility, I said facility. What it means is that, and they need a government partner. It can be anyone. It can be any government entity. It could be the city of Carrizo Springs. It could be the sheriff's department in Carrizo Springs. It can be Dimmit County. We've chosen the county because this impacts everyone in the county. The people that run this facility are part of this intergovernmental service agreement are Dimmit County, me as owner of the facility, Taylors who provide the food services, maintenance, and housekeeping in the facility, and a licensed state child care provider. I didn't want to mention the word detention, and yet that is probably the biggest issue to each of you. So here's what I am going to tell you. The immigrants that come to this facility have already been vetted. What it means is they've already been checked out. 85% of them are women and children. They've all been checked. They have no criminal backgrounds. Rather, they're escaping violence. They're trying to come to America, as many of us did in the past. And so, the next question is, what kind of an environment are they going into? Why did they pick the studios at Carrizo Springs? They picked it because it's a nice facility. They picked it because it's near the border. They picked it because it's close to different airports and major cities. They picked it because it's an ideal location for Spanish-speaking and English-speaking folks. More than 51% is a requirement. More than 51% of the folks that work or might work at this facility have to be bilingual. English and Spanish, not Arabic. There are no Syrians coming to this facility. Number two, what's in the facility? Nice bedrooms, facility that can basketball. There's there will be classrooms. Why? Because they don't go to school in your schools. They go to school in the schools on the camp. Can they leave the camp? No. No. They cannot leave the camp. I think it's probably the biggest issue. Are they going to invade our community? Are they going to take our jobs? Are they going to run around and murder people? No. I heard issues about, hey, the Syrians. I've already gone over that. There are no Syrians. Taxes. I heard going to be raised. On the contrary, your taxes will come down. This is a $50 million a year contract, folks. Where is that money going to come from? It comes from the federal government. It comes into this community.
Order in the court.
I've been here for 5 years. I've given money to support different events. I've sponsored rodeo events. I work with Paula Seidel in the Chamber of Commerce. Taylor's has provided food for free for your 4th of July events, which raised money we gave to the scholarship fund. We housed 5 deputies for the last 2 years for free on our facility. We're part of this community. The last thing we're here to do is destroy it. The last thing we're doing is to try and hurt you. One of the other things is, if we do, and by the way, this is simply a bid. We may or may not win. And if we do win, it's a 5-year contract. It's actually 1 year with 4 one-year options. So how long would they be here? Maybe a year, maybe 5 years. I don't know. But what I do know is this. We need jobs. We need people. This is, under this contract, minimum federal wage has to be paid. Do you know what the cheapest, the lowest paid employee at this facility is $14.53 an hour. I don't make that up. That's federal government regs. That's how much the person who and works as a maintenance worker to this facility. If we're out there, specifically in Carrizo Springs, we need 400 bodies. We can't fill them all from here, but we can fill whatever you have to offer, whatever you can come in and be. It saves us, it saves the federal government, and you as taxpayers' money. We don't have to pay per diem wages for folks coming from Laredo or San Antonio or else. We want to provide jobs here. I drove through your community, folks. Your gas stations are slow. Your hotels are empty. Your grocery stores are empty. I have a facility. I'm starving. We're shut down. We're not abandoned. We're shut down. It was good 4 or 5 years ago. It's not good now. I'm trying to offer something that is good not only just for this community, but also for the human rights group. What does that mean? These folks have already been vetted. They can't go into the community until they're approved, until they've had their court cases heard. They have to be heard by lawyers. There are counselors within this facility to hear them. No one is going to be released from this community until that's been approved. I'm trying to propose a solution that is good for your community as well as for the folks who oppose it, as well as for the human rights groups that oppose it. I'm trying to provide a solution that for the first time, they're detained, but they're not in a detention-like environment. Our fences do not have barbed wires on them. Our windows don't have bars on them. There are guns, but they're not guns that children and women are going to see. I'm humbly asking for your support in this. That's the best I can do.
Thanks, sir. I'm going to introduce to you my attorney, the county's attorney. Mr. Donato Ramos. And he's going to tell you all, we have an option to decline if we so want. What we don't want to happen is what happened to Billy. And
Good morning. Thank you. May it please the court. Good morning, everybody. My name is Donato Ramos Jr. I'm an attorney from Laredo, Texas. I've done some work on behalf of different South Texas counties. And I was recently contracted by Dimmit County to assist in this matter. And on Friday, it's all happened pretty quickly in terms of my involvement. I spoke on the phone with these gentlemen. And I had questions regarding the option. What if Dimmit County, for whatever the reason, decides not to proceed in this sort of agreement? And there's a couple of examples we can look at to see what happens. There's a facility that's not, again, I'm not an expert in facilities, but there's a facility in Dilley that y'all may have heard of. And in Dilley, I think they call that a detention facility, which apparently is very different than what would happen here in Dimmit County. But what's interesting about that facility in Dilley is that the contract with the federal government is not with the Frio County or with the city of Dimmit. It's actually with a county in Arizona, Eloy, Arizona, or something along those lines. And what's kind of weird and operative, in my opinion, is that in that case you have a governmental entity that's not local, that's not Dilley, that's not Frio County, that is coming in and is on that contract with the federal government. So my question here on behalf of Dimmit County, my client in this particular matter, is, well, what if Dimmit says no? Is there a potential of these gentlemen and their companies perhaps going to another governmental entity, whether it's nearby, a neighboring county, a neighboring city, another local entity, or, in my opinion, an even more strange scenario would be that of, similar to Dilley, could they go outside of Texas and get a governmental entity from another state to come in? And I'm currently looking into the legalities of all of that. But it is their current position that if Dimmit County does, Dimmit County in this case, does not agree to some sort of reasonable agreement on terms, and we really haven't gone into it, but I think there's certainly a good possibility, they've been reasonable, that we could reach an agreement. But if Dimmit did not reach an agreement on legal terms, they do have the option, their position is, to go to another governmental entity somewhere else. Let's just use the example of Dilley, Arizona, New Mexico, or otherwise, to reach this same agreement. And my concern on behalf of Dimmit County is if this facility is going to happen in Dimmit County, then I think it's in the best interest of the county and its residents to have some involvement in what's going to be going on here, rather than having a situation such as that in Dilley, where the mayor, there's been some media where the mayor has said, look, here we are in Dilley, that's one good money that could come to our county and to our residents that could help. It would create jobs, but we don't have a voice what's actually going on in the facility because. So from a legal standpoint, from a community standpoint, one thing that I have advised the court and the judge is that we've got to think about the alternative, which is, and again, I'm not saying I agree or disagree with their ability to do that, but assuming that their position is correct, if Dimmit County does not agree to cooperate in this contract, there is still the potential that these companies could contract with another governmental entity, it's their position, to get to the same place. And then Dimmit County and its residents would not have nearly the type of voice in that contract because they would not be involved in the contract itself. So I just think that's something that needs to be considered in these circumstances.
Judge, sir, I can't believe that entity from outside.
Excuse me. All comments, we're going to take down the list. So, everybody has an opportunity that has something to add, that they need to know, that they didn't hear from this gentleman, the applicant to us right now. There's a discussion before the table, so the only ones asking questions right now is going to be the commissioners.
How can somebody from outside the state come into our state and do an agreement with whoever company without our approval?
Commissioner, that is my exact concern, and like I said, I just got involved in this. I'm not a, but the county city of Eloy, the city of Eloy, in that case. Yeah, it's a federal contract. This is a federal contract. So the federal requirements are just that it be a quote governmental entity. And again, I haven't gotten into the intricacies of this, but so in Dilley, the entity was that Geo Group.
It was Corrections Corporation of America?
So in Dilley, and there's been a lot of publicity about this, Commissioner, because that was my exact reaction, is how can something like that even happen? But apparently in Dilley, the wording was sufficient to allow the city of Eloy with CCA or whomever to have that exact situation happen. And in fact, the mayor of the city of Dilley had that, you know, he's known as saying that, how could this happen? Why is this Arizona County receiving this money that could have been kept in our community? So I'm not agreeing with them again, but that is what has happened, and I understand that's a different facility, but that is the current position that these gentlemen have taken.
May I please say something?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Sure, Commissioner.
Mr. Taylor, how long, what's your name?
I'm strapped.
Mr. Stratton, how long were you aware of this contract that was coming out prior to letting us know that your deadline was July 5th?
1 week.
Prior to us giving us the information?
I had a request from the government for information. 3 weeks passed, I got a formal request to form an intergovernmental service agreement with the local government. It was a week and 10 days.
How many times did you meet with the Department of Homeland Security or ICE concerning this? How many times have you met with them?
Can you speak up, please, sir? I cannot hear.
My question is, how many times did Mr. Stratton meet with the Department of Homeland Security or ICE concerning this matter?
The answer is I've never met with them. I've corresponded with them for the last 2 years. Homeland Security came in 5 black cars with guns to my facility 2 years ago. They came rolling down the dirt road. And they went in, and suddenly I had a call from Homeland Security that said, we want to use your facility as a detention center to house immigrants. For a number of reasons, many to do with the infrastructure, Dilley was chosen instead. I negotiated with ICE for 5 or 6 weeks for that facility. It's so interesting, none of you knew that. I had choices for counties. It doesn't even have to be a county, it can be a city, it can be here for Dimmit County, folks.
Comment, Mr. Ramos and Mr. Stratton. Are you aware that a district judge ruled last summer that the presidential administration of Obama has a policy that violates there's an 18-year-old court settlement regarding the detention of migrant children. Are you aware of that?
I was not, again, I just got involved, Commissioner, but I'd like to see that.
The judge ordered.
I am aware of it.
The judge ordered the government to release the families by October of last year, and the government has not complied. We would face some kind of liability with that court ruling on this.
Commissioner, there are absolutely legal issues and concerns and liabilities, whether it's contractual or otherwise, that need to be considered. I haven't yet had the opportunity to get into discussing all of that with them since I just got involved. But yes, these are all issues and questions that need to be addressed.
Something else, something else I'd also like to point out is that the 2 presidential candidates, whoever is going to be put in office, these detentions.
Again, sir, this is not a detention center.
Well, family housing units either.
It is family housing, but there's no detention group involved in running this facility.
I understand that, sir, but both presidential candidates that are now running for office are against these housing units for immigrants. So, come January, there might not be any federal funding available for any of these family housing.
Also,
And you intend to start, if you're approved October the 1st, October, November, December, 3 months, January, 3.5 months, and no federal money, and you're out of business. As far as a family housing unit is concerned in Dimmit County or anywhere else in the country.
One of the,
Something else to consider.
yes, sir, thank you. One of the questions that our firm had, as well as firms competing with and against me, was exactly that question. And the government answered it this way. They funding upfront.
Concern that we have, or I have the most, is the security around the facility. Being that, I don't know the guards that you have there are gonna be armed or not, but, we're under the understanding that, or I'm under the understanding that you say that there's not gonna be absolutely no leaving of the facility, but how do you monitor?
Well, there are armed guards, sir. There are
Well,
armed
I didn't say some guards. Looking at how many, are they gonna be posted?
with an additional, there's land surrounding it of approximately another 40 acres. That area is not developed, but both of those
What's
are.
the ratio between the families to the guard?
You want to say this, Jerry or Danny?
Obviously, the Homeland Security has guidelines as to how many per capita or per residence that require. So we'll be within their guidelines. But there's guards that are there are guards that will be stationed on the internal facility to interact with the residents, and then there'll be exterior guards to maintain the perimeter fence to make sure that nobody comes or goes, and that all visitors and visitations, there has to be inspections before they arrive.
So there's visitors that will be able to go in?
I'm sorry, sir?
There are visitors that will be able to go in?
Well, that'll be ICE officials and Homeland Security officials, so anybody that enters the facility will have to go through inspection and make sure that they're not bringing any contraband or they're not bringing anything in that's beyond the responsibility of the facility.
So who will be liable if there's any long road?
I'm sorry?
Who's liable if there's any long road? Because we noticed that even within the law, there's laws broken within the same prison.
Those are issues we have not addressed yet.
Well, I mean, that's my concern.
Yeah,
Will you be liable?
the county and the city would be indemnified by us, so there would be no legal responsibility that would fall on the city or the county. It would and the official.
I bought it from Vander Voort and Highway 83.
Carmen Jung. Carmen Jung.
Yes, Carmen Jung, I'm sorry, thank you. We cleared that land, you know what we found? We found camps where immigrants coming up across the border, that's where they were camping on my land. This facility, folks, 85% women and children, 17 and under. They've already been checked out. Some are going to stay 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, and move on. The other option is just let them all free everywhere. They broke the law. I don't make the law. I'm just simply trying to humanitarianly, in a humanitarian way, give these folks a place to stay.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
is your septic sewer system able to accommodate 5 to 1,500 people that you are expecting?
Right now, we have a sewer system that accommodates 500. A public, we've already applied. This has been in the works for actually It wasn't done by me, it was done by my landlord, Signor Group, has already applied and approved. We're waiting for TxDOT to give final approval to, that's an additional 500 that's been approved for public sewer.
How are you gonna do that? Through who?
Whatever permits, I get the permits, but it's done with the city. Lift stations are being put in. Plans are being run. Just about less than a quarter mile down from Munson Road.
Who's putting in the lift stations?
Pardon me?
Who is putting
Near some, I'm not sure. Well, I have the permits. I have to.
You have water system and sewer system able to do that?
Yes, we made application for that, and it's in process. That's already been approved by the city and Carrizo's, and it's already up
That's
to.
not true. You have to get a from the Carrizo Hill Water Board and able to through their system to come into the city for sewer. And have you met with the Carrizo Springs?
I have not, but Signor Group, I have a from TxDOT for 45 days, sir.
Sir, I talked to the chairman of the Carrizo Hill Water District, and he talked to Mr. Signor. Mr. Signor was not even aware of this proposition, this proposal that be going on in the House.
That may very well be,
On
but
this property.
he has sold me a bill of goods then because he told me that it's been blessed by Carrizo Hill and that they're in fact working with the state to get the pipes put in.
I don't think it has, does Mike Garza here, Mr. Garza here? Mike Garza? Mr. Garza is the president, chairman of the Carrizo Hill Water District Board. Have you received it? Has your district received that from TxDOT to put in the sewer?
Okay, would you repeat your question, please?
Has your Carrizo Hill Water District system received notice of applications for a lift stations and a sewer system through TxDOT that has been applied through TxDOT? Are you aware of that?
Permit is on hold at the present time. For the reason being that nobody, you Ms. Stratton, right?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Stratton.
I didn't make application, sir.
Well, no, you're not in the application.
Right.
Mr. Clayton Signor is.
Yes.
But nothing has been agreed on. They have not come to us as to what their intentions are. So at the present time, they're trying to put in a man camp to house between 500 to 1,000 immigrants without yet reaching an agreement with Carrizo Hill. First part, let's say that we did reach an agreement. Our pumps that are designed to dispose the sewage to the city of Carrizo were designed for approximately 400 people. But yet here comes this company that is saying, well, we'll deal with Carrizo Hill and we'll pump 1,000 more people into your system. What does that do to our system? It's undersized. The pumps will be running 24/7. The pumps will be burning out. We have not reached an agreement to oversize or to upgrade.
Okay,
So therefore, we don't have any kind of agreement yet.
if you were to upgrade, who would finance that? Who would have to pay for that?
That's right.
Who would pay for that expense?
They would have to come before us and reach some kind of agreement and
They haven't approached you yet concerning this.
again,
They haven't approached you yet concerning this upgrade of the sewer system.
no,
Okay.
no.
To the county?
What are you gonna do to guarantee the people of different areas that no other nationalities will come? I mean, by that I mean like Syrians or whatever. They got parents, mother and son who come to your facilities also.
Okay, the
Because
question is,
the government moved, you know, they feel like they were seen, right? Yes, sir.
the question is what are the guarantees that no other person from another nationality like Syrians will come into this map camp?
And the answer is this: we're not set up to deal with Syrians. We don't have translators for Syrians. And now that I realize, excuse me, that it's that important, our proposal will be sent to ICE that specifically says, if you want to use my facility, the government will have to agree not to send any Syrians. That's the best I can do.
Hold on. Does anybody else have any questions?
I mean, there's already, you already know in Amarillo, in Dallas, in Houston, there are already 7 or 8 facilities across Texas to take Syrians specifically. They're set up. They speak the language. We're not set up to do that.
Hold on, everybody, like I said, you'll all will be given the opportunity to make your comments. This is a discussion that we're having, and I would really appreciate it if you would keep it down, okay, because it's hard enough to hear. I'll ask, we'll give you the opportunity to answer after we finish.
Question, right in front. Okay, well, time with the Commissioner's Court, I had a question about how are we going to prosecute escapees from your facility? It's residential and not detention. And you said it's not a detention facility, but a detention facility is defined under our Penal Code 107. And if this doesn't comply as a detention or correctional facility, the sheriff, my mayor board, our sheriff can't even arrest an escapee for that offense. And if he's arrested or prosecuted, we may not even be able to prosecute him as a misdemeanor or a felony if we don't have that cleared up. So you said you would have an answer for us today on that issue. Do you have an answer for us?
No, I do not. May I say this? The word detention in every detention center, the word detention is what is Judge Gee for the human rights groups. Judge Gee ruled against detaining women and children. And so the government still has a problem. How do we detain women and children? So this new concept, the concept is, They're changing the name from detention center to family residential center. They're taking those immigrants, women and children who are the least likely to hurt anyone, and holding them in a family residential center. There are still guards. There are still guns. But the idea is they don't want a 5-year-old to see a guy walking around with a machine gun on his back or bars on his window. I don't have another answer than that. I can't tell you if someone escapes how they
Pose the question. They promised us an answer to all of those questions this week, and we'll obviously forward all of those questions and answers to you.
One more question.
Yes, sir.
You're not. What's the word we use?
residential.
About the humanitarian, how do we classify it now? Where we won't have a group coming in and saying that we violated their human rights, and they're not being treated fairly, and, or we're not gonna have groups coming in that, because they're not gonna look at you as your facility running the program. They're gonna look at Dimmit County. That's what they're gonna look at. Even though they're running the public facility, they're gonna see Dimmit County violating human rights towards individuals.
I'd invite any human rights organization. I'll do all that I can to put an office in the facility for you to occupy daily. You take a look. You let us know. You let the government know. You let the newspapers know. You let this county know. I'll put an office in the facility if ICE will allow it. You can come there daily. What else can I do?
Okay, next on order. I will clear this courtroom. Okay? You have the opportunity to give a comment as well. But I will clear this courtroom.
One more question. We talked to the public that it wouldn't affect our schools, they wouldn't be attending our schools, but that's not exactly what you told us in the last meeting.
You're right. You're right. I'm sorry.
Have you contacted our school board or school district to see how they can meet the needs of maybe special educational needs of some of the children that may be coming to our?
I have not, and I don't know how many folks that would be. It would be minimal if it is. The school, the facility has to have its own classrooms. Each kid has to go to school. Reading, arithmetic, they have to have an hour of each every day. English, but I do not have the answer. We have an answer, but I don't have it.
Yeah, if it's handled on, if kids with special needs are handled on a case-by-case basis, and basically what that would mean is that if the city of Carrizo, the community, couldn't handle the special needs those services, then they do a different county or city where they can handle those services. So they would transport. There is a transportation.
Have you inquired whether that system, school system in the facility would be a part of our local Carrizo Springs Independent Consolidated School District?
I think it would be a center that could handle the needs of the child. I don't know if that would be in Dimmit County or Carrizo or where it would be, but it would be to where there's needs for that child to be addressed.
Well, my concern is that there's a conflict there because if they're not leaving the facility and they're going to our public schools, are they going to be armed guards going to our public schools as well?
Yeah, they can't be facility unless they are under the control of an armed guard, yes.
They would not be in
No.
Kids with special needs are handled on a case-by-case basis.
I understand that, and there's some citizens in our community saying that probably our school districts aren't doing enough for their kids with special needs. But to accommodate more kids, it's gonna be a concern to those parents with special needs kids. If they can be, then, it's required. At that facility, is that correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
What is the age of the children that will be coming in? What ages?
The ages of 17 and under, per the agreement.
Anything else, Commissioners? Okay, I want to address the public here. As you noticed, said very little. So I had the opportunity to discuss on a one-to-one basis with my attorney, and we asked questions the last time. There's a lot of questions in my mind, a lot of do's. You can't hear me better. There's a lot of do's, a lot of don'ts about do we want the facility to come to our questions I have, and it's very simple. Do we want the economic boost? Yes or no? Do we want the jobs? Yes or no? When the oil boom hit us, before that, an economic boost to Dimmit County. What do we have to offer anybody to come to Dimmit County? And the response we always came back to was, well, nothing very much we can offer anybody to come to Dimmit County. So we were depressed for the longest times. One of our highest rates we ever had, tax rates, because we couldn't get nobody to come to Dimmit County. Then we had this oil boom. A lot of people saw it as a curse. I saw it as a good business, man. Everybody had a job, a good paying job. Of course, we had problems with our county roads. Yeah, we had problems with the infrastructure. We had a lot of problems. But my people had a job when they didn't have them before. Our delinquency tax rate was one of the highest. We don't have that anymore. You have good things and bad things. The question is, do the good things far outweigh the bad things? And that's what we're here to look at. Okay? If the good things that it could bring us are outweighed by the bad things, well, I don't want it. Because I'm assuming we have like 450 people in this courtroom, I would assume. That's a small percentage of the people that elect all of us to these offices. And we're here to determine what is in the best interest of this community. But to get to that point, I have to look at the historical information that we have in the past. We had Ellis Island in New York in the turn of the century. I would bet that some of our people here today came through that facility at that time. We have a lot of immigrants that come here. My parents came across in a wagon in 1915 when you paid a nickel to cross the bridge. And hence, me, my family. We had a detention facility during World War II. Japanese people were housed in Crystal City. He didn't want them there. Now, I'm afraid that what here today is going to affect a lot of people. And we will make that decision. I'm going to make a comment. I just wanted to tell you to deal with our tax rate going up. This young man is worried about the trade. I'm too. Because despite what everybody thinks go up, guess what? Not. So we have to look for a lot of alternatives. And I don't know what the problem is with everybody not understanding the fact that we're going to get to you. Okay? We're going to let everybody, excuse me, ma'am, we're going to let you say what you need to say. Okay? And we're going to go down the line. I don't need to hear it. We're going to go down the line, and I'm going to give everybody the opportunity to say whatever it is you need to say. But ma'am, okay. Okay. All right. And we're going to go down the line. We're going to go down the list, and everybody gets to say what you want to say. Okay. So if the consensus of the community here today is we don't want this, I'm your representative. But tomorrow, don't call me and tell me I don't have a job. Okay? Because I hear that every single day. We need jobs. Okay? I heard 400 jobs. Whoa. Okay? So now let's find out what we have to give up for those 400 jobs. Okay? Just like we gave up a lot of things, our small community. I love Dimmit County. I love Carrizo Springs. I love my community. That's why I'm here. And when this thing happened, we lost our community. We lost a lot of things that we were used to growing up. That's why I stayed here. But we have to give those things up. For the betterment of the community. And if this is not what we need or we want, by all means, okay? Give me your constructive, mind you, constructive. Give me your constructive opinion, and then let us make a decision, okay? Now, I'm going to refer to my commissioners. We can't engage. The law says we cannot engage. I'm going to open it up for public comments. I'm going to go down the list, and if somebody asks the same question, please don't be rhetoric. If you're opposed, just tell me I'm opposed, and that's all I need to know, really. Okay, that's all I need to know. Okay, if the consensus is that we don't want to participate, it's fine. I just want you to be leery. Don't come to me or to my commissioner's court when somebody else opens that facility and we're not making that. To me, it's okay because I don't care about the $500,000 or whatever it is. I care about the jobs and the security of this community. That's what I care about. Okay?
This list was not available for me.
Excuse me. Okay, we'll give you the opportunity. Anybody that didn't sign, but I'll ask you if I'm against it. I know you're against it. That's why we're here. And if you're for it, beware. Okay, so I am going to open it up under public comments, and just tell us what you want to tell us. But be.
Yes.
Yes, and if you didn't sign up the list, when we finish, I'll ask you, does anybody else want to say anything? Okay, I'll give everybody the opportunity. Okay, but as long as. Okay, I don't know if there's still a list outside, but if there's not, it doesn't matter. Okay, as long as we do it in an orderly fashion, I don't have a problem. Okay.
Exactly.
I will ask you to be silent.
3 minute recess. 2 or 3 minute recess. Anybody?
Porque estuve haciendo live. Ay, ahí está mi notebook. Sí, entrevistamos a este señor, right now.
I didn't think that. From all these people that might. Tomatoes thrown in along the way out. Are you going to speak?
No, ma'am.
Oh, shoot. I think you want to speak. I'm going to.
Very nice. I'm sure they'll be well. Would Dimmit County not have a fighting?
You know, we tried last year, one year when they only won one game, they didn't have one because of
Federal usage and lessons and armory or court, something that nature.
So we wanted just to give you, don't go or say anything, just pay how many bills and then let us do it.
There's something to do with somebody paying for all of their students. Somebody has to pay something for it. Like a student has to bring 1 penny or 2 pennies.
Oh,
And it would be
because I just felt like they tell everybody, look,
it is hard.
oh, it's awful. It's not me. Who are you? Okay, so you heard about the schools.
Yes, I heard about that.
Okay, so we can't house. We're not good for that.
We're not.
He's already gonna put him in that rating.
I'm surprised that the school district.
Have somebody here. This is the There's no way unless we build a special facility. Supposed to, but what is it, the special needs child that they get? We've never been told that. Right, but
I was gonna do this alphabetically, but I'm gonna take it row by row. Okay, so, starting from my right to my left, anybody that wants to have a comment here, front, step up, give us your name, and let us know what you comment.
Hello, my name is Clinton Smith. Thank you for affording me the opportunity to speak. From my observation, I came. So you guys asked a lot of questions, and I commend you, commissioners, for what you did today. Awesome work. To me, it seems like you're being duplicitous, sir. I mean, I'm not trying to throw insults at anybody, but it seems duplicitous. That kind of double. Is it a detention? As long as it seems that way, I really think we should hold off until it's not that way. Everything needs to sound right. Everything needs to be in a row. And if it's not, then we're basically trading our security for silver. And I don't think that's ever a good idea in any society. If you look at history, that's exactly what happens, and it never ended well for them. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Anybody next to him, coming from this side?
He's ahead of me.
Were you in the front row, sir?
Yes.
Let's go.
Honorable Commissioner, my name is Steve Ortiz. You guys know me, a lifelong resident here in Dimmit County. All I ask is that you humbly consider that threats not only come from certain nationalizations, but they come in many different forms. And when it is invited, a major change into a community like this, a lot of proactive events need to take place. Facility house a mass massacre, or we don't look for it, but we must prepare for it because we never know when it's going to come. A level 2, level 3 type security people that need to be processed, that know how to control, crowd control, channelize, detain people, especially those that we were talking about earlier, special needs. Those people also have special rights that they need to undergo. There's a lot of concerns here about how it comes, and property value also. Are we inviting the amount of people over here? What's it going to do to our property value? The depreciation doesn't only come with time, but it also depreciation also. We need to look at a lot of things within our community. And I just ask that you humbly cover all bases, and you are our leaders. We're going to put our trust in you guys, but we're going to do it together, and we just humbly ask for you to consider that.
My name's Kenneth Taylor. Everybody knows me. I grew up in this town. First of all, my question is how can you assure us that all of your will be true? Everything that you say is true. How many jobs are you going to secure for this town? Because I have spoke with people in Dilley, and the job numbers are not there that they got promised. I understand that. The other thing is, God dang it, I just went blank. I'm done.
My question is how do we know if they're not bringing different diseases into our country that we've already killed out, and we're going to be reintroducing them into our community? And my second question is when their time is up, are they just going to be released into our community?
Okay. My name is Lisa Haggerton. I'm against. My question is, I know they're going to be armed, but they're 5-year-olds. I mean, are they going to be able to actually, what are they going to be able to do? They're not going to pull a gun on a 5-year-old. I don't really see them pulling a gun on a mother. So are they going to be able to use that force that they're going to have to protect us?
Bruce Barker, longtime resident of Dimmit County. I'm interested in our security. It's not clear to me what or who in our law enforcement of this area is going to secure this facility. Without our local law enforcement being responsible, I have absolutely no feeling of security for our county. I'm against in this regard. I'm a humanitarian, but I do not see the security for our county. Another subject, Judge, I came back and I was trying hard to listen to court proceedings. I want to commend Mr. Carmona and Mr. Uriegas on using their address system. I've been in this courthouse many times during my life. The acoustics, Judge, has always been poor, and I would like to encourage the other members of the court. That's all I have.
I moved to the front earlier. That was at the beginning, sir. After the recess, I wound up right over here. Anyways, good morning, commissioners and judge, Ronnie Talamantes. I want to start by saying that I appreciate our commissioners and our judge bring revenue into the community. I think we can all appreciate that. I came in here with an open mind, willing to listen to the facts and hear both sides of the story. While I was there, I was taking some notes on my phone. And without being able to ask a question, it's difficult for me to make this point. But I look up here and I doubt I see anybody who's done any type of federal service, especially with DHS. I spent 12 years in federal service and directly with DHS. And the facts and figures that you're throwing at me look real pretty, like they were drawn up by some political activist. However, that 85% vetted rate, or 85% that you're telling me is just females and system in the United States. However, we have no idea what type of criminal acts they have traded in their home country. Working with these people directly people, a lot of the women and children that I dealt with are very conniving. In a lot of ways, they're worse than dealing with adult males. You've got to keep that in mind. You know, you're talking about minimum security or no security because it's a residential facility. It's not a detention center. Think about how many fences they crossed to get here. How many miles did they travel to get here? So you've got 27 acres. Big deal. Big deal, man. You know.
Please, no outbursts. Come on, we're all adults here. We're here for a purpose.
So,
okay?
Honestly, the fact that they've been vetted through the U.S. system gives me no security, no sense of security for myself. I live a mile and a half away from this. It gives me no sense of security whatsoever to know that they went through our vetting system. Now, moving on to the economic impact on our community, I want to know if there's been any studies conducted that will show the direct impact that this facility will have on our community. I heard comments from the Jim Wells County Judge that stated that there weren't any studies that would show those figures. I want to know what it's going to do for us besides our tax base. How many of these jobs are going to be guaranteed patrol station where I worked? I would say 85% or greater of all our Border Patrol agents commute from outside communities. That money is not going to stay here. So that $50 million that we're going to get for 1 year or however much it is, are we going to spend that all upgrading our infrastructure just to see it walk away in a year or two? So what is that actually going to do for us? Then we talk about the scare tactic, you know, that if you don't do it, I'm going to find somebody else to come in and do it. We shouldn't be held, our feet should not be held to the fire on this deal. Okay, is there, I can do legally? And you're not going to be able to put that type of location. We need to look at that. Obviously, in the highest regard. How this is to the people of Dimmit County? Okay, it looks to me like now it's just an opportunity to try to come back and make some money at our expense. So with that in mind, I have to say that after listening to all the facts, I object to that facility coming to our area. Thank you.
I am, and I've heard a lot of things mentioned about Dilley, so I just want useful Ellis Island. So I just wanted to pull up some numbers. Heard floating around pass-through money. Taxes will go down in Dilley. There's Pearsall and Cotulla. We pay 80 cents, Pearsall cents, and Cotulla pays 62 cents for similar industries. You might ask if Pearsall lowered taxes by 4.5%. Cotulla raised theirs by less than 1%. But in Dilley, our property taxes have risen 18% since 2011. And I want to tell you about our water rates, because not all jobs will be filled here, but you may get people from neighboring counties that aren't supporting this facility with taxes or their water rates. Same thing happens in Dilley. And our water rate is between $2 and $3.65 per 1,000 gallons. So it's between $2 and $3.65. In our neighboring town, they pay between 61 cents and $1.43. Your agreement that I've heard you reference, that should be a public document. If it's with a government agency, I would ask you to make that public, because there's probably questions we don't even know to ask. In terms of the wages, you can look up the intergovernmental service agreement that Eloy has with CCA, Correctional Corporation of America, and they have the wage schedule, and you can look up what they're actually paying. And let's see, you mentioned, the last gentleman just mentioned that they have much, and my question, the one operated, spoken to someone, and if so, that should be disclosed. The sewage stuff, you guys should really look into that. You can look into the newspaper, it's January 2015, in Frio County, our newspaper, we got an update that estimated our wastewater rates, and we've definitely far surpassed what they calculated for us. Emergency services. They do not, my understanding is, I think someone else can speak to this, they do not have an on-site emergency service. It's a place that has a capacity of up to 2,400 people.
You got 20 seconds, sir.
So there's bound to be emergencies. So what service are they using? The city or the county.
I will wrap it up there. I could probably fill up the rest of this meeting, but I just wanted to provide you some of those facts. Thank you.
Once again, I will clear this courtroom. Believe you me.
Good. I'm Amanda McNeil. I'm from Big Wells, Texas. Hi, everybody. I just have one quick thing. You said it's not a detention center, but yet they can't leave. They do leave. Who's responsible? Think about it. Thank you. I'm against it, by the way.
Good morning. My name is Marion Knowlton, and I am the Republican County Chairman in Atascosa County. I come here standing because Atascosa County is part of Senate District 19, which we share with Dimmit County and other 16 other counties in West Texas. We in Atascosa County feel pain. We too are suffering with a declining oil industry. And we too, our county judge and our county commissioners are also fighting the battle of taxes and valuations and how do we pay the bills. I think the oil industry has suffered because of the unlimited release of oil from the Middle East that's had our fracking industry suffer. And I'm not an expert in oil, but I understand that it was Mr. Obama that allowed the Middle East to release all that oil. Follow the trail. My concern is about what the county attorney had to say about detention versus residential centers. I know two people that work in detention centers, Billy, one in Karnes City. You might want to look into Karnes City because that is known as a detention center, but they are changing the name. A rose by any other name smells as sweet. So I would be concerned about the security issues, how you said, how is the sheriff going to implement anything? That would be my concern too, and I recommend looking and see what Karnes City is doing about that. Thank you so much.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. My name is David Briceño, local, Carrizo Springs. As you can see, there's a lot of questions that are being asked, and I'm thinking maybe y'all should consider maybe doing a town hall meeting, maybe in the evening, where the public can go and ask and get answers from their questions. I'm not sure if y'all have seen the media, the social media. There's a lot of hate out there, a lot of fears, a lot of speculation. We don't even know what's coming here. And those people, just throwing out there just speculation, scaring the public until, they got the information that we needed here. And yes, now we have more clear information as to what in our city or county. And now maybe you can comment in this town. Even before we knew what was coming. So I think maybe considering a meeting in the evening to allow us to ask questions and allow you all to answer our questions and anybody else to answer our questions. That way we can make a clear decision or an educated decision as to whether we're for it or against it. Right now I can't say I'm for it or against it because I don't have all the information I need to make that decision. And I don't think the majority of people here have that information to say yes or no because they don't have all the answers to their questions. So I ask that maybe you can call a meeting to allow us to ask and receive answers to questions. Thank you very much.
Good morning. My name is Shannon Salazar. I am a lifetime citizen of Dimmit County / Carrizo Springs, and I am opposed, very opposed. I have many questions. One, the medical aspect of it. Are they going to be bringing in communicable diseases? Are they vaccinated? Are they going to be bringing in the hepatitis, tuberculosis, measles, even chicken pox can kill people? Okay. Are they going to be, who's going to teach them? You said that they're not going to be going to school here. Are they going to be bringing in their own teachers? And okay, they're going to be detained or unable to leave the facility. Who's going to pay for that? Are y'all going to pay for somebody to sit there 24/7 and say, no, you can't go nowhere? And when they don't listen, who's going to pay to pick them up? Okay? And if they get sick, when they're bringing over, they're dehydrated, they're just not feeling well, who's going to go pick them up? That would be our EMS system. And our medical system around here is severely lacking to cover our own community, much less the extra 1,000 people that we need to be brought in. It's just not feasible in any way. Sorry, I'm locked. Oh, our grocery stores are slow. If they can't go anywhere, how are they going to help that? I mean, if you bring in 1,000 people because it's supposed to help our community grow, but they can't go anywhere, minus that area that they've been contained to, how is that going to help our community? And you said that you're going to say that they vetted. Where are they? Are they from Argentina? Are they from Somalia? Are they from Syria? I want to know. I want to know where these people that are coming in. I have children. I have kids in school. I want to know who's going to be in my community with my children. And when your 1 year is up and your 4-year options are up, where are they going to go? Who's going to be left responsible for them? Okay? Now, my last question is, I understand, I'm not here to be rude, I just need you to understand that this is our community, this is our life, this is where we live, okay? That being said, why can't you get government assistance to help Americans that need help? There are plenty of Americans out there that need a house. There are plenty of Americans out there that need education. Why can't we help them instead of others?
Very good. Next person that does that, Mr. Bailey, get out of here.
Hello, Audrey Esquivel Avila, lifelong resident of Carrizo Springs. When I came in here, I was set no, but after hearing some information from the commissioners and Mr. Ponce and, I'm sorry, I don't remember your name. I'd like to find out more information from both. You know, I'm kind of on the fence now. I do have questions. I know that cannot be answered, but I know they said 85% would be women and children, children being 17 and under, but we all know a 17-year-old boy is basically a young man. You know, I have questions about that. The whole visitors in and out, questions about that. Also, additional mental health screening. I'm not sure how long they're going to be here. Birth control for the women. I know they're not supposed to be allowed out, but if we're going to have people working there, you know, it's going to happen. It's just things that are popping into my head. Additional healthcare facilities, or like Shannon stated, the EMS. And I had a question also for the county. You know, if 1,500 more people are going to be coming in, are we going to be funded for more patrol? And last, I guess, basically I am on the fence. If we can't get around to not having this facility here, if it's going to happen anyway, I personally just think Dimmit County should have a piece of the pie. If there's no way in stopping it, I think we should put our foot in the door. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Arela Nandin Perez, and I have resided here in Carrizo Springs for over 45 years. This is another generation that hopefully will grow here in Carrizo, and I vote no. Thank you. I'm against it.
I'm Alex Wickham, to these people, and have, without asking, put non-potable water in a potable water system and poisoned, I heard, some of their customers. And this is the kind of people you're dealing with. You know what? We don't need lies and stuff like that. We need good, honest people. And then, so far, they have not been truthful. Thank you.
My name is Janice Leonard, and I'm Eddie Leonard's wife, and we own the Leonard Funeral Home, which has been in the same family and been run since 1938. We both went to school here. Our children went to school here. Mr. Humanitarian, if you don't do them for people, bring them out of your own pocket, pay for them. $96, a correct figure, a figure I will hear people from other places who are illegally. They're already criminals. And I feel like we were kind of threatened by saying if we didn't let them do it, someone else could come in here and put something else. Well, I'm not really understanding that. I need someone to answer that question for me, because I understand that they have to vote on this. So how can someone else put something else there without our permission? Thank you very much.
Good morning. Mary Lou Martin, Judge, Commissioner. Which one?
This one. I'm
All right.
Thank you.
I spent the last 18 years of my career with DHS as an intelligence analyst, working mainly with classified information. I know what their vetting system is. Y'all do not want that. You do not want the trouble that comes with it. That's all I've got to say is no.
Me too. I was a no.
I'd like to thank y'all for your time, really. You're deserving of the respect. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for giving us your time today. I do have several questions. Obviously, you can't respond. It's my understanding y'all can't respond either. That's perfectly fine.
But I'm writing them down, and I want to see how I can get the information.
My first comment is this. You came here to win the public over. Being condescending to a community, telling them that their services are slow, that their restaurants aren't good enough, their gas stations aren't good enough, isn't how you win a community over. Ladies and gentlemen, please, nobody clap anymore. It doesn't do any of us any good. We all need to be heard. You kept calling it a camp. The Germans called theirs camps. It didn't work out very well. I'm not saying that we're going to suffer those atrocities ever again. But call it what it is. That there are going to be no Syrians coming here. Syrians aren't really the problem. Overflow from where El Salvadorans come. That it's only going to be Mexican nationals. No, nobody can. How do we guarantee the safety of the public? You say you're going to have armed guards. I know a lot of the law enforcement agents in this room. I've worked with a lot of law enforcement agents in this room. Are you going to hire them? Or are you going to have your own private guards? How are we going to know how well trained they are? Money is the bottom line. I've been to your facility. It is beautiful. It really is. Y'all spared no expense when it came to the oil field. It left way too quick. The facility built after iron was hot. Sorry. They've already. And my last one is this. The vetting system. Every act of terrorism in the United States, 9/11, Oklahoma City, vetting system. They were all here legally. They all made it through that system. Is your system going to be better? I'm opposed.
My name is Oscar Romo. I want to address everybody. Thank you for this opportunity to speak. My question was, you said you had a contract with the government that you have, and the question has been asked before, that where you have control. Okay, once the government is in control with you, What is it to say, and you're saying that Dimmit County is going to have employment there. What is it to say that the federal government says, well, you know what, I don't think you all qualify, Dimmit County, you need to leave. We're going to put in our new people in employment, and we're changing the agenda. What is it that once you're in contract with the government, they won't change their agenda and do whatever they want with this community? That is my question. What I've been seeing here, as of right now, I oppose it. Thank you.
Your Honor, I don't want to cut in line, but I kind of got out. Okay.
Paula Seidel with the Dimmit County Chamber of Commerce, and I have met Mr. Stratton when he initially bought his business here. The only comment that I have, Commissioners Court, is this, is that when we look at the scope of any type of facility like this, why is it that we do not have a representative, or maybe you do have the ability to be able to speak directly to a representative of ICE or DHS to be able to have these questions answered at perhaps a town hall meeting? I mean, we're looking at a big topic here, and I think it's a responsibility. If the federal government is wanting to do these things in our communities, then step up to the plate and be available for questions as well. Too many questions yet, Your Honor. Too many questions.
No. But no.
Hi, I'm Sherry John. I moved here through marriage, I guess. I've been here for 31 years. I work for the school system. I've been at Carrizo Springs Junior High for 31 years. I came to talk about other issues that other people have already brought up, but when it was brought up about the fact that the school's children, especially special needs, could come into our school system, I have a big concern. Our special needs kids already require a lot of extra care and have problems that need special people to take care of them. And to bring in more special needs kids that are under an armed guard in their room, I don't think that sets well with our kids. They would also be in the regular classrooms, which are filled to capacity right now. I know our school district does a job with our testing. We have a whole, going back to the special kids, I just don't think our special needs kids could have difficult learning. So as far as that goes, I'm no.
I'm Michelle Fisher. I've lived here for about 15 years now. And I've had the illegals in my backyard before, and they've been uninvited. And I don't want them here, invited. Thank you.
I'm Paul Betts, and I'm against Paul Betts, and I'm against it for a couple of reasons. You all want to take the detention off of what you're bringing here. No matter how you put it, you're taking the detention off, you're trying to get past the rules that the district judge put out, you're trying to get past the Texas laws, which say they're doing things wrong. Not only that, you're putting them in a facility that's better than where I live, and a lot of other people that live. Another thing that hasn't been mentioned, and you all are in the county, you know what happens. What happens if one of them passes away? The JP has to take from the county, send them to the ME's office in Louisville, which is the district court. Who's going to do the funeral? Have you even thought about it? No. That's all I have to say.
Peter Perez, and I'm also here because of the concern with the community. I like to think that I represent a little bit of the younger crowd in the community. We've heard a lot of opinions and facts. I'm also here to hear all the facts. That our heartstrings, we should always look at both sides. A believer in Jesus. I'm not here to hate anybody, so I know about that as well. But we are called to be wise. That's my opinion, and I'm opposed to this decision. And like I said, I believe I represent a little bit of the younger crowd. I'm here with an open mind, so I appreciate everything that y'all have done to you really propose this, what y'all believe might or might not happen. But I really hope that y'all consider everyone's opinion here. There's lots of good facts, but I do not believe that Dimmit County, this is in our best interest for Dimmit County, and I love our town. So that's all I have to say.
Hello, my name is Kaylani Miranda Perez.
I'm also here because I'm concerned for our town. I'm 100% opposed. I have children here. I was born here, and I don't believe this is in our best interest. I was here when the oil boom struck, and I did see a lot of the good things that came with it. It generated a lot of jobs, and I was here when it left, and I saw all the destruction that it left behind and the things that it affected many people. And I have 2 sons that I'm raising here locally in Carrizo, and that's not the legacy that I want to leave for my children. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Kurt Bro. I'm a recent resident here. I've been here since 2012. I came here with the oil field. I found a home here with the citizens and the church, the people of Carrizo, and I spoke main concerns with Mr. Gonzalez of security and how that's going to happen, as well as other people. But one of my biggest issues listening here, I came here to try to listen for the facts. Mr. Stratton, Taylor Group, it seems to me like you guys are very ill prepared in your presentation. There's not much information that you guys could have given us. There's a lot of questions the commissioners on the information. Their representatives are ill prepared in their information that they have. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done. Will not be made today. Do go out and investigate. You guys do try to get more information and do your due diligence in making your decision on this. I think the county really would appreciate that as far as you guys doing your work. As it stands right now, I am against it due to the lack of information. More information comes, it may or may not sway my opinion one way or the other, but the lack of information has me saying no.
My husband comes in 2 parts. Actually, I grew up in Lakey, and I married a Crystal City. You already know all of that. You already know all that. Okay, good, great. My comment comes in 2 parts. The first part is a question, which I know you cannot answer. I would like for everyone in this room, y'all, and everyone here, to consider this. We have no information about what it is going to be, and that 15% is what concerns me. That 15% could be the kind of people that caused a massacre in Orlando. And we don't want that in this community. We don't want our friends, our loved ones, or our children, exposed that. We need to. The second, if it please the court, I would like to have a 206 facility. This amount of signatures was received in 24 hours. Just imagine how many signatures that I can get between now and the time that are going to say no, that facility. Thank you.
My name is Mark Plochek, and I'm a local businessman here in Carrizo Springs. For your pulling down, and the first thing I don't like is by you telling us that we're being held hostage. If we don't take you, then you'll just run somewhere else and get it approved under the curtains. And my question to the commissioners and to the lawyers is there something we can do about this? They know to them now that they can't go dig a hole underneath the fence somewhere else like a dog does to get what they want. I mean, when we say no, it's no. And for future references and to protect us better, is there something we can do as the commissioners to have these businesses, man camps, and that go south, they go south with it, and they take their stuff and they leave town? I don't think it's right for them to sit there and try to scheme up another way with the government for them to profit and us to suffer. If you think it's so good, put it in your backyard. Thank you.
From our little Guadalupe, letter of Texas, and also the bishop of the diocese regarding this situation, and that how in this, specifically in the South Texas Family Residential Center located in Dilley, Bishop Tamayo, the Archbishop Gustavo Garcia Sierra, and the Bishop Eusebio Elizondo, from the Archdiocese of Cerro. They visited this facility. And they can say that in this facility, they saw vulnerable immigrants, women who were suffering deep mental anguish and depression, and children, young little boys and girls who were severely traumatized by their surrounding. So it says again that there is a vulnerable mothers and their children is against that who we are as a people, as a county, and as a church. That's why they refer that the Diocese of Laredo, in solidarity in the Texas Catholic Conference and fellow archdioceses and dioceses of Texas, condemning family detention. For this reason, we ask that you not further pursue efforts to convert the studious rental units at Carrizo Springs into a family detention or facilities. They changed name. There's a name of the Catholic Church, and of course, church. And so this beautiful.
Commissioners, I'll close the discussion. Purposes are entertaining. Introduction to Dimmit County. Second by Mr. Endeavor.
This type project help the community. I might get some. I don't know if they needed that camp on their own, and of course there's and the safety of the family.
Funding away.
Well, those are legal issues
Well, we can ask attorneys to look into those matters.
those are legal issues that we're gonna be faced with at the, I don't know, the political pressure that residents can put by into our representatives concerning these items is something that they address. Those are issues that we need to discuss later. For right now, there's a motion and a second to deny the request or not to enter into a contract with ICE. And I call for the vote at this point. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All that opposed, same sign. It's open. For all those that wanted to give a comment, thank you very much. But,
sister.